Hey everybody, 4Gun Guy here. I'm really excited to bring you this new video on the Taurus G3C carry pistol. It took me a while to get it, but I finally got one. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Well, we're going to cover four basic things here. We're going to look at the consideration matrix that if you've seen any of my other videos where I review guns, you know that I do a comparison matrix against some other options. Then we're going to do an unboxing and a G2C comparison to see how this stacks up to the older model, the G2C, which I have as well. Then we're going to look at some range time and some final thoughts. Well, again, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I love doing these matrices, and this is no different. So I've thrown in five competitors or comparisons: the Beretta PX4, Storm Compact, Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield, the Glock 43, Sig Sauer P365, Nitron Micro Compact, and the Springfield Armory Defender Subcompact. Now, as far as if we go through the specs as far as price goes, again, Taurus is the cheapest. I think now they're up around $310 because of the demand that's out there. All 9mm. Most are striker fired except for the Beretta, which is a hammer fired pistol. Weight-wise, the Taurus comes in about middle of the pack. Overall length, same thing. It's a little longer than most. Overall height, about the middle. Overall width, the same thing. They're all polymer framed pistols. Slide material might be a little different on all of them. The steel tenifer finish is a melanite-like finish on the slide. Sight-wise, Taurus has good sights. I'm going to talk about that when we get to the unboxing. And the others have good sights as well. Now, the Sig Sauer has some really nice sights. Those X-Ray 3 day-night sights are good. And so does the Springfield Armory. It has really good sights as well. From a safety perspective, and you know, if you looked at my G2C video, I wanted a pistol with a safety. I know some people will say you don't need a safety. Safeties are ridiculous, but trust me, because of my competition pistol and where its safety is located, I feel very good about having a safety on my carry pistol that's in pretty much the exact same place. So as I practice with my competition pistol, and I'm used to taking that safety off as it leaves the holster, so am I at ease doing that with my carry pistol. So from a safety standpoint, you can see how all of them are across here. No manual safety on the Glock 43 or the Springfield Armory. From a barrel length perspective, again, it's a 3.2-inch barrel, which is about, as I said, middle of the pack there, and the barrel type is stainless steel. I'll just add here that any of these pistols would be good candidates. I mean, they're all really good pistols. I just, again, chose the Taurus G3C because I'm already using the G2C, and I love that pistol. So that's really why I got the G3C. I'm very familiar with it, and it's not that much different from the G2C. Plus the price isn't bad. I mean, you can't beat that price. Well, let's look at some other attributes here. So from a trigger standpoint, the Taurus G3C is a single action with a restrike capability. What that means is that if I pull the trigger on a live round and it goes click, it might be because there's a hard primer in that round. So I have the ability with this pistol to actually release the trigger and just pull it again to re-engage the firing pin. I don't have to rack the slide, because if I did that, I would just chamber another round. This really doesn't mean that much to me, so it might be good to have for some people, but I would literally just rack another round because I don't trust the round that's in there already, and I don't want to pull that trigger 3 or 4 times waiting for a round to go off. So again, I just wanted to explain that to you, but it's not anything that I looked at in this gun and said, wow, that's what I want, why I want this gun. The rest of them are single action, double action triggers. When you look at the pull weight, The Taurus G3C right out of the box, I measured it, has about a 5.1 pound pull on it, which is really nice for an out of the box pistol like this. It's a little lighter than most of the others except for the Glock 43. From a take-up perspective, it's got a little long take-up, about almost a half an inch, but it's not too bad, and it's a lot better than the G2C trigger was out of the box. And from a reset perspective, this trigger is really nice with a 0.2 inch reset. So I really like this trigger from what I've seen of it. Magazines, this is a double stack, so it comes with three 12-round magazines, which is nice. The others come with 2 magazines, and the Springfield comes with just 1. It is a double stack, and as you can see, the M&P 9 Shield and the Glock 43 are both single stack pistols with not a lot of capacity in them. So, you know, I wouldn't really consider those if I were you, but you might like those brands and want to go with them. That's fine. From magazine cost, $25 to $37 on the G3C, depending on what kind of magazine you get. I just ordered a 15 round, which was like $37. And then it's on the rest of them, you know, 25 to 35 bucks for magazines. Accessories, other attributes here, accessory rails, yes, it has it. It's a Picatinny rail, which I really won't use. It's my carry pistol. I'm not going to mount anything on it. Notice on the Smith & Wesson, the Shield, it's got a rail, but you need to purchase a Picatinny rail to mount anything on. So it really doesn't do you much good in my opinion. Glock doesn't have one and the others do. The grip type is a polymer grip, and it's very similar to the G2C. I know there's a lot of hoo-ha out there about, you know, oh, this grip is awesome and is much better than it's not. It's pretty much the same, and you'll see that when we do the comparison. And aftermarket parts, they all have good aftermarket parts. You can find things for any of these guns aftermarket. From an other attribute standpoint, the Beretta does have an ambi slide lock and safety and a reversible magazine release, as does the Taurus. It's got extra back straps. This is the Beretta still. And the placement of its safety is good, as is the placement of the safety on the Taurus. Smith & Wesson Shield, I've got a Shield, and that safety is really difficult to find. I'm not a big fan of it, which is why I don't carry that pistol anymore. And then the Glock 43 and the Springfield Armory have no manual safeties that I mentioned earlier, which if you're looking for one with a manual safety, then those aren't for you. Well, let's see what we have in the box. It's a simple box. It's a, you know, cardboard Taurus box. We open it up. We have the instructions, which we probably will never read, and that's because I already have the G2C, so I already know how this pistol works. We have the obligatory safety lock, and then we have 3 magazines. So it comes with 3 12-round mags, which is really nice. And I'm trying to keep this focused in the center of the screen here. And then we have the pistol itself. So let me take it out of the box. It is unloaded. And really that's it, right? So from an unboxing perspective, it's pretty boring, right? You get the 3 magazines and the other stuff. Let's look at an overview of the pistol. So where I want to start here is the slide. So if we look at this up close, kind of, I'll bring it here. This is what they call a Tenifer coated slide. And it's kind of like a Teflon coating. So it really makes all of the, not only the slide, but the external controls are all metal and Tenifer coated. So they're not polymer anymore, they're all metal, which is nice. This really racks easily. So if you want to rack it like this, if you want to do the normal, rack like that, it's a really nice racking slide. They also did put serrations up front here. So if you're one of those that likes to rack up front, you can do that. Or they've got the serrations in the back, and they kind of slanted them forward, if you can see that. So it really makes it nice to grab onto. The sights, they replaced the polymer sights with a steel sight system, and I can say I like it. I don't love it, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to bring the G3C in for a little comparison. This is the G3C that I have. It is unloaded, as you can see. Nothing in the chamber, no magazine. In fact, we'll do this a couple times. Now, if you look at these sights, the reason I really liked this pistol was because they had the white on the rear sights. This G3C just has serrated rear sights, and it is white on the front sight. Now, the reasoning for this is Taurus understood that people want to put different sights on the pistol, so they didn't put a lot into the sights on this thing. It makes sense. These are Glock compatible serrations in this slide, so you can put Glock sights on this pistol. So really, they didn't go overboard with the sights. It's no big deal in my opinion. External controls, as I said before, the takedown lever, the slide stop, the magazine release button, and the thumb safety, they're all metal now. So these are not polymer. These are all metal components. So that makes it really, really nice. The rail that we were talking about right here is 1 1/4 inches long, and as you can see, there's not much to it, but you could mount some accessories to that if you wanted to. And if you look really behind the underneath the rail here, these little what they call memory pads. So these act as like a touch point for your finger when you are when you're at rest, to keep your finger off the trigger. So this is they call this a memory pad. Makes sense, and they had the same thing on the G3C. I actually like that feature. From a safety standpoint, let's go to the safety. Again, it's a really tactile safety, which I like. So safety on, safety off, and the nice thing about it is you can operate the safety, very easily. And as I said before, this is exactly like my 10 Folio, my competition pistol, which is why I like a safety here, because as I bring this up out of the holster, it's already off, and you can hear the click. I will tell you one thing though, this does not have what they call a magazine safety. What that means is there's no ammunition in this magazine, folks. What that means is if I rack around, right now, magazine was empty, so it slide back. But if I have a round racked in there and I pull this magazine out, I can fire this pistol. On most other pistols, you can't. If you pull the magazine out, the gun will not fire. In this pistol, the gun will fire even with the magazine out. So just to let you know that. If we look at other things like the trigger guard here, I really like what they've done here. And it's this little stuff, right? And I'm sorry I keep taking it out of frame. You can see a little rounding here, and that really makes it nice for when you are, if you hold your pistol like this, it makes it nice. Now I'm more this grip, so it doesn't matter that much to me, but some people really like to come out here onto the trigger guard, and it's a really nice feature that they have here. The trigger itself, if you look at the trigger, I don't know if we'll be able to see it here, but it is, let me see if I can get in here on this thing. Right there. It's grooved. It's a grooved and rounded trigger, so it's not that square thing that digs into your finger. So really nice feel to it. It's got, as I said before, it's got a good pull. So if we rack this, it's got about a 0.4 inch, almost half an inch pull, but listen, it's a good break. It's not my 10 Folio for sure, but it's a nice break. And then watch the reset here. Watch the reset. That's the reset. That's it. And then you're ready to go again. So I really like what they've done with this trigger. Will I upgrade this like I did with a Keep Tinkering trigger? I might, but I'm going to run it like this for a while at least. And then when we get to the grip, at the top of the grip on both sides are these indentations. And these are just for your thumb to rest in. They're a little more pronounced in the G3 than they were in the G2. So if these are the G2 here, this is the G3 here. You can see that's a little bigger. Other than that, they're very much similar pistols. I think they made some trade-offs, right? So they made the trade-offs on the sight system because they figured you're going to put your own sights on there anyway. And so I think they saved money there and put it into the trigger, which I think was a smart move. One other thing I want to point out is the magazine release. I really like what they did with this. It's serrated, so it's kind of serrated here, and it's very easy to get to. Very easy to get to. It was the same on the G3C, but this one wasn't. This one was just a little different. I don't know how to explain it, but I really like the mag release on the G3C a lot better. So there you have it. This is pretty much the comparison. They both look almost identical, except when you start to look up here on like the front of the slide, you can see the serrations here. You don't have those here. This slide is a little cut in here, whereas this slide isn't as pronounced of a cut. And you know, to break them down, it's the same breakdown as the G2C. People, as I said, I think I said earlier, people are raving about the difference in the grips. There's really no difference in these grips, folks. It's the same. It's very rough, which I like, and holding on to this thing feels very comfortable in your hand. Even with these short magazines in there, it's very comfortable. It feels really good. So I tell you what, hopefully I touched on some of the things that are setting this one a little bit apart. Let's go ahead and get out to the range and get some shots on some paper. I'll do a little dump test. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. I was very happy to finally get my hands on this G3C because I love my G2C. Let's recap a little bit of what we went over. So we did the comparison matrix, so I showed you some other options that you might want to consider. If, for example, you don't want a pistol with a safety on it like this one has. So some of the other things that, you know, we really liked about this is to me, it's the same really good build quality as the G2C was. Remember, all the external controls now on this pistol are metal. So they replaced the polymer external controls with metal external controls. They gave them the same coating that they did the slide in, which is that nice slick Teflon-like coating. The trigger on this thing, remember, is really improved. And again, this is unloaded, but the trigger on this thing is really improved. Remember, it does have a little take up. It's got about a 1/2 inch take up, which is not too bad, but the break is really crisp. Remember that. And then also remember, we went over the reset, which is, wow, real short, which is fantastic to me, for this stock trigger. So with that all said, I really like what they've done with the trigger. Remember, we said the sights are kind of so-so. They do have the white up front, but they didn't have the white dots on the rear sight. But look, if you're that big into the sights and you think that's going to be a big important feature for you, you're probably going to upgrade these with some Glock sights anyway, which you can do. Remember that. And then they also sent us 3 12-round magazines. So that's great. We have 36 total rounds available to us. These magazines are compatible between the G2C and the G3C. So if you have a 15 or 17 round magazine in your G3C now, you could go ahead and just use that in this pistol. It'll be fine. And then finally, I think I showed this, but I want to make sure this pistol is fitting in my G3C holster. So I ordered another one of these holsters. I'll put the link up there somewhere. But look, perfect fit, and we talked about that. So overall, very happy with this pistol. I hope this video was beneficial to you, and please like and even subscribe if you want to. Hey everybody, thanks again for watching, and until next time, shoot straight.